Good morning and welcome to Beyond the Gym Floor. So no, I am not Ben Scott. It is I, Jess. I'm here with Mimi today.
Hello.
We had so much fun hijacking this podcast. So first time hosting it without either of the guys here, which was an experience. So come along for the ride. There's a lot of silent laughing and giggling throughout it. Absolutely. But we spoke about, both Mimi and I are alumni of Standout PT and we both participate in Standout PT still. So we spoke about a few of the things that we've learned and our biggest takeaways from it and how it's impacted our lives definitely for the better and how we are living out our dreams as coaches and more than coaches thanks to Standout. We also spoke about what our weeks look like. So it's inspired off the back end of the boys episode. Go back and listen to that one if you haven't. It was super valuable. But how we structure our weeks, what our weeks look like, and how we lean so heavily on our systems when we do want to go into a digging phase and not burn out ultimately. If you haven't already, or if you are interested, we have dropped the world-class service checklist. So if you go into the show notes or at stc.learn, go into the bio on Instagram, you can download that checklist completely for free. Ben's putting out some really good content of it lately, so make sure you check that out. And while you're there, if you're listening this many minutes in and you haven't liked or followed us on Spotify or YouTube, what are you doing? Do that right now before you keep listening. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the show and please let us know what you think of it. Bye. I think the hardest part about nailing the headphones is I want a little bit of fringe so I don't look like
Honestly, I never thought about it because last time my hair was slicked back.
Yeah.
And now seeing you, I'm like, oh, that we have options. We can look cute with headphones.
Oh, thanks, hun. I just no shade to bald men at Jason. We're on. I don't want to look like a bald man because I am not one. You know? I look like a bald woman. Amber Rose did that really well though, actually.
She did.
Not going to lie. But as we discussed before the headphones went on, I have a big head. I got a really big head. Mimi's got a short head that's wide, but I have a big head. So
it's long. Jess is... We've
Welcome.
got girth going on here.
Welcome to Beyond the Gym Floor. So I feel like somehow, so for those that don't know, we record Barbells and Banter first, but Beyond the Gym Floor gets released first. So you kind of get the shit talk and the yapping and all of that done on Barbells and Banter. However, because Mim and I don't host these podcasts, I feel like we've gotten more comfortable.
Yeah.
So all of the shit talk is going to be in the second episode. So these two can just be completely interchangeable, Tam. And on that, I'm actually going to try the coffee too. I can't do the thing. Is this one of the ones where they guess the flavor? Do they still do that?
No, it's all the same.
Coffee slaps.
It's all the same bean.
I think
Yep.
cold is the way to go. Last time it was warm.
Yeah.
Cold
Stronger.
Yeah,
is beautiful.
it's only ever cold when I've had it. I only drink cold coffee. It's either cold coffee or an espresso shot.
Yum.
And
If
get
you
it out of
freeze
the
this
way.
and make it into a popsicle.
Okay.
Lit.
Okay.
Lit. And just savor every bit of it.
Okay. I
Yeah.
feel like
Oh, do you know those coffee lollies? What are they called? Yeah.
I'm now thinking about a popsicle stick that's coffee flavored. But no, I had never had Vietnamese coffee until I came here for the podcast. And Tam's like, you're welcome.
Do you feel cultured?
You're welcome. Because I just don't have milk in my coffees. So that's pretty much the thing.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But yes, so for those of you that missed the episode at the start of the week and wondering why we are here talking schmack in your ears, the guys have just gone on a business retreat overseas with our business mentors. And upon coming back from that, they both now have individual trips planned. So I saw Jace put up very cute poll on his story of like what outfit he should have worn.
Yeah.
Did you vote?
I did vote.
What did you vote?
I voted flowers.
So did I.
But then flamingos got more.
I voted early, so I don't remember. Like, I don't recall what the thing was. I hope he went with the daisies. Very nice look.
Yeah.
And Ben's gone on a family trip.
Yeah.
So that's why we are here. After this, we're also going to be filming getting some content in the gym. We are
Super.
I forgot about that already. Are we training back?
Yeah.
Yeah, training pull. So that's going to be lots and lots and lots of fun. Maybe we can do your new program today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chin-ups.
Fun. Fun. Yeah, great. I love it. That meme, like the kid laughing and then going into the vomit. Tam always says it reminds me of me when men talk to me. Oh, God. So we're recording this on the 4th of April. So first week of April. Now, actually, before I go any further, do you participate in April Fools?
I do not.
No, neither do I. I don't. I'm like, is this growing up?
I was like, fuck, am I letting her down?
No, I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's funny on most parts. But anyway, I'm going to continue on with that. I'm like, oh yeah, 1st of April. It's a good time of year for sport for me, but I feel like none of that is talkable. Do you follow the NBA?
I'm sorry.
And you don't follow the F1?
I'll watch it and I'll scream my head off. Pick a team,
Yeah.
tell me which team you're going for. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm 110%
Amazing.
energy is there.
Well, you are McLaren then. This weekend is a race in Japan, so it's at like a good time. So I think it's 6 p.m. on Sunday, so you can actually watch it. And it's Yuki's first race for Red Bull. I was showing her the TikToks before of the Red Bull team. But yeah, so it's going to be a good race this weekend, and we are into the last few weeks of the regular season of the NBA. Which means playoffs are coming, or the play-in tournament's coming, then the playoffs are coming, and it's all very exciting because my team is good this year.
Amazing.
But
Exciting.
I can talk at you about it. And
This is how much I know. I love sports. I love to play sports, but me watching sports has never really been a thing growing up.
Right.
And so some of my clients are footy players.
Nice.
And I got educated the other day of what a kickoff is.
A kickoff.
A kickoff, like where you kick off from the goal.
Oh, what sport's that?
Footy. AFL. That's what he called it.
Oh, okay.
Is it not?
I don't know. Like, I've watched AFL.
I just see grown men fumbling for a ball. You're literally fumbling.
Why are you playing stacks on? No, I'm like trying to get into AFL this year. Like, I used to follow it
Yeah.
so much. I used to be heavily into it, and then I dropped off.
Who do you barrack for?
So I've been deciding. So I grew up in a household that was Collingwood, but you know, when it's like pushed on you because like that was what my dad went for. But I don't have any ties, so I decided that I was gonna pick my own team, and I was gonna give myself 6 weeks of this season of watching a lot of games to decide.
Okay.
I live in an Essendon house. My mum's got a weakness for Carlton. My friend used to play for Richmond.
Yeah.
So I've got like all these little ties here and there being dragged in one direction to go for Hawthorn, and I'm like, I don't know. So I watched, and I think I've decided on Western Bulldogs.
Okay. The doggies.
The doggies, yeah, the dogs. So I think
On theme.
Exactly.
On theme.
I didn't even think of that. Of course I go for the dogs. Obviously I go for the dogs. The big dog. Duh. So yeah, I think I've decided on Western Bulldogs. Who do you follow? You know how like people will be like, take podcasts away from men, stop men from starting podcasts? Can you imagine how insufferable this conversation is for a man that likes AFL? I get great joy. I get great joy in knowing that I could have temporarily pissed someone off with.
At the risk of maybe losing a subscriber and listener.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Ben and Jason. We can get back onto it. So as I was saying, it's April now, and March having been just done. I don't know about you, but I like sit back and I look at and reflect on the last month in all different senses, but in a business sense as well.
First quarter's done.
The first quarter is fucking done.
Yeah.
That is insane. What was your, let's go biggest win from either the quarter or the last month? What was your biggest win in business?
The biggest realization I had was when doing my socials, I'm not speaking to the same person online compared to face to face.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. How does it differ? How does it differ for you? How does your language change and who do you talk to online?
The people that work face to face, they're Gen Pop. Their understanding and knowledge wouldn't be the same as someone who has maybe a year or two behind them, experience in the gym, experimenting with the nutrition, intensities, etc. And so it's almost like that stage of where their training is completely different. And so therefore the information and value I'm providing is also different.
Beautiful. That's like such a powerful realization to have rather than chasing your tail online, because someone online is probably not going to sign up for that service anyway.
Exactly, which I have been doing. And that pivotal moment of, and Ben said this, so he attacked me actually. It wasn't even beautiful. It was just an attack.
So Ben went straight for the jugular and what did he say?
And he's like, is it because you don't have enough proof? Like the people that you're training, the proof that you have is all maybe Gen Pop based and hence a bit more mindset tapping into the mentality side of things.
Yeah.
Whereas the people that you want to train with and how you train, it's a bit more practical, not in a practical sense of like nutrition.
Yep.
Black and white training, this is what it is. They usually have the mentality down pat already.
Yep. Which would terrify your face-to-face clients.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's been holding me back without realizing that I'm in this in-between online, trying to create this avatar that doesn't seem quite real to me.
Yeah.
When really I just need to show up as who I am, and whoever resonates with that will naturally come through as well.
Correct. I think like for me, one of the biggest lessons learning being an online coach is that obviously there are so many of us out there and there are so many women strength coaches that appeal to the girlies and blah, blah, blah. But like people are going to choose you for you.
Yeah.
They know that they're going to get stronger when they sign up with an online strength coach. So why are they choosing you?
Yeah.
Because it's who you are. And your reel yesterday was so beautiful.
Thanks.
That was iconic.
That was probably one of the easiest reels because it spoke so true to who I was, my experience, and how I wanted to connect to people, with people on the internet.
Isn't that crazy when it's authentic? There's less resistance.
Yeah.
Whoa. Crazy. Says me that's only also just really felt that in the last few months. Like online, I think my biggest wins, so from like a business perspective, I coached at 2 comps. So from an online coaching perspective, I coached at 2 comps. One was a first time lifter, Ingrid, who
she smashed it.
Holy heck. Like annihilated it. Was very nice for me to see. So yeah, she added 22.5 kilos to her 1 rep max squat from January to comp day.
Huge.
Like insane. Like it was less than 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And then went 9 for 9, first comp 9 for 9, 370 kilo total, 370 or 375 kilo total. First place in her weight class. There were like 4 or 5 people in her weight class. Like absolutely killed it. And then the more nerve-wracking one was having my client Mel, or Kirilee's mum, for everyone that follows on Insta, because that was taking on a national level athlete already, which was far more intimidating for me. Not coaching her, but knowing that she had already set such a standard for herself, and like going to a new coach, I was like, well, you need to do better than your last comp.
Yeah.
For me. yeah, and then for the first time ever, so like her squats were a massive like mental barrier for her. She'd never gone 3 for 3 in her squats, and she did, and she
Whoa.
got a mammoth squat
Mhm.
PB. So both my girls squatted 140, which is amazing. Like we're talking big boy numbers now. I love it. So that was a big win, like showing up as a comp day coach and being able to match my clients' energy and bring the energy that they needed.
Which is never an issue for you anyway.
Well, my energy was very different comp to comp. Ingrid just happens to match my energy exactly. So it was like ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Off its tits.
Yes. And then another business win would be at U Strong, we had one of Jess's online clients upgrade to hybrid. So also bring in an extra PT session as well. So we're trying to add, even if we're not necessarily getting more members or more clients across the board, like really capitalizing the members that we do have. So one of our lifters went to the hybrid from just online, which is amazing. And we also signed our highest ticket. We also sold our highest ticket member. So, you know, premium U Strong membership plus PT as well. So yeah, they would be the biggest wins for me there. I got given a bit of a task from Ben and Michael a couple weeks ago where it was like, hey, we kind of need these metrics, and we need to get this many appointments like now. And the way that I thought that I didn't have the time, yet when I was given this short time sensitive thing to lock in and make, for me it was making phone calls, like more phone calls than I had been making.
How many? Go.
300.
I recall this like it was yesterday that we were on the Zoom call that you said.
Like, no, 430. Yeah. It was 400 numbers across everyone.
Yeah.
It's fucked. It's so fucked. In a week.
In 1 week.
So yeah. Anyway, you can do the thing. if you need the time, you make the time.
You do.
So yeah, they were my wins, like different kinds of business wins.
Across the board.
Yeah, but really excited. So we'll see what
Well
the
done.
next. Yeah, what's your goal for the next quarter?
It'll be to focus a couple of components. It's beyond just being a coach now.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a coach face to face, coach online, which will be heavily pushed in this next quarter. But bringing in another 1 to 2 trainers on board, whether it's within an anytime capacity or through the mentorship overall.
Yep.
I think that will be a really challenging, upskill, fulfilling goal to be able to achieve in that next quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It's we are going to talk a little bit more like later about, and you've done an episode on it, like your different roles and where you're at in STC now. But we're going to copy the boys episode from last week of what a week in the life looks like for a successful business owner, because both of us started as, so when I came to STC, I was an online coach. When you came to STC, you came into face-to-face PT. And from there, our roles have changed so drastically. So you're face-to-face, online, and running the STC mentorship.
Yeah.
And I originally went from online to running the STC mentorship to opening up a gym.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over like what our weeks look like and how we've really managed to squeeze more in when we didn't think we had time, which when we briefly just spoke about it, it really comes back to one thing, and that is both Mim and I, and the guys don't even know that we're going to talk about this. So this was me being like, I have full autonomy of what I want to talk about. But Mim and I are actually standout PT alumni. And I didn't actually know how to pronounce that word until I double checked before the podcast. So Mim and I actually have both grown our businesses off the backs of Standout PT. Is this an ad? No. This is our personal experience with it, without the guys prompting us and leading, asking us these questions. But I have gone on and on about it before. So when I finished my first 2 rounds of Standout PT, I launched my first 8-week program, which was a hybrid online and face-to-face, and that sold out in less than 2 weeks. I am consistent with showing up on social media now, and I know who I am when I show up, and the clients that I'm getting are my people.
Yeah.
Like, I get along with them, I love them, and I feel like I'm not... If I have an online consult booked, that person is joining the team.
Yeah.
There's no resistance with that anymore. So I know that who I am authentically and who I am professionally, which is the same person, but I can show up as that person online now. I have my systems in place so that if there is a week like there was at the start of this year where you have a fair few people coming on at once, like I can breathe and onboard them and not have to stress and do all of that. And then juggle being an online coach, gym owner, mum at the same time. But you have done your first round of, you've done, how many rounds of standout have you done now? 2, 3?
3 probably.
3, yeah. What's your biggest takeaway from the course content? Like, what did you learn and find the most valuable to implement?
Systems, without a doubt. It was from how your business runs from start to absolute finish, of them training with you and ongoing.
So like the client journey from when...
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if your systems aren't repeatable and you got no metrics to track how your business is going, do you need more of X? Do you need less of Y? You don't know unless you have those metrics. And as confronting as some of those numbers may be, the faster you run away from it, your business is also going in that same direction.
Yeah.
Which isn't very far.
Yeah.
And so that was a couple of moments of, okay, if this is the direction that I need to take it, then it's face on doing the things that I've been avoiding. Yeah.
So just like tracking our body composition and all of the volume and
so
blah, blah, blah.
crazy how that's so natural to us.
Yeah.
And so clear cut explained to clients, but when it's flipped and it's like your business and now
it's so confronting.
Yeah.
It's so confronting, but like the numbers don't lie. And like, but so one of the biggest things that I've learned is the same thing, like having that system of, if everything is repeatable, I know where the fault is.
Exactly.
So when I have so Ben is my business mentor. When I have my meetings with Ben and it's like, cool, why are there so many appointments booked versus people showing up to appointments? So it's not like looking at those numbers and being like, I am fucking failing.
Yeah. Oh.
It's looking at those numbers and being like, cool, clearly we can't just look at, I spoke to 30 people and I signed 1. Like, where was the breakdown?
Yeah.
And I think that, the systems in understanding what gets them to you, what gets them booked in, what gets them showing up, what gets them signing, what gets them results. And having something repeatable in that. If you have to change it, you have to change it.
Yeah.
But we don't react. And I don't know if you were like this beforehand, but like I would react so emotionally. Like, someone didn't sign up, burn it to the ground and start again. Like, burn it to the floor. So at the moment, the main thing that we are, like, this is a little bit different. I know it won't be like relatable to everyone, but I feel like it is. So what I've learned since having You Strong is that you get a lot more inbound leads for a gym. You get a lot more inquiries. And the inquiries are almost always like, they don't look at the gym like it's a person.
Yeah.
They look at it as a business.
Mm.
How much do you cost?
Yes.
And they're not afraid. So, like, I won't have people DM me that
No.
for my own online coaching. They would be like, how much you cost? And if they did, I'd be like, "Hur." But it's like there's no personality. There's no person. Like, I'm not a person on the end of the phone. Like, I'll message someone and they'll be like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm like, you didn't opt in. Like, I'm asking you a question. Right. So I had to learn that there are a lot more inquiries, but people look at it like as a business, not a person. So what we have been navigating is the automation. So when someone opts into something, the language of the messages that get sent to them. And we only change one small thing every once in a while, because if you change everything at once, you don't know what worked.
Exactly.
And so now we've changed the language to make it a little bit more emotive to actually get them to come in for their free trial.
Mm.
Because if there's no value behind it, they're like, it's just a free trial. So we're adding a little bit more urgency to the free trial and adding a little bit more buy-in to the free trial. So, you know, that's all off the back of tracking those numbers and having those systems and understanding that and knowing what to change, when to change it, and if that'll contribute. Another thing that's not systems related, but I'm glad that we both had the same answer for that because, like, scary numbers, but also, need to do the scary numbers. For me, I can't remember which presentation it's in because I have been through a lot of stand-up PT. But it's one of the ones where you are working on yourself as a business owner, not just on your business. And so it's part of the self one. And they ask the question, in 3 years' time, is it 2 or 3 years' time, if you keep doing things as you are, where will you be?
Yes.
And it's like this trick question because the answer that comes to your head first is like, well, I'll be where I am.
That's right.
But that's not necessarily the answer, because if you keep doing the same things and you have this like frustration with certain parts of your business and certain parts of the way it runs, in 3 years' time, you're not going to be the same equal amount of frustrated. It's going to turn into resentment. It's going to, if you don't change the way things are going to head into the direction that you want to and you are stagnant, it's it's frustration, it's falling out of love with your business, and it's like the whole, I don't make enough money, like there's no money in PT or online coaching, and which we know is a fallacy. But that question changed so much for me. It's like in 3 years' time, when I had signed up, it's like, I don't just want to be an online coach.
Yeah.
And it's not that there's anything against being just an online coach, but it's like I'm so grateful to work in a team.
Yeah.
Where I can lean on other people and lean on resources and lean on all of this to have greater impact. And it's like, so how can we continue to do that?
I think it's exactly what you said. It's putting a magnifying glass on the impact that you want to have.
Yeah.
And then now, if you want to achieve that, how and what do we need to make that achievable? And it's definitely not what we're doing right now.
Correct. So, yeah, that kind of forced me to look at without going into like too many extremes, like I think it's also fair to say, like, my life when I started, say, Stand Out, compared to my life now.
Yes.
I quite literally do not have the same life at all whatsoever. Like, I don't live in the same house. I've gone through a big separation. I co-own and operate a gym now. So I've gone back to face-to-face coaching. I am coaching a team of competitive national level powerlifters now. Like, there are so many things that if it weren't for the confidence that Stand Out gave me and the way, I'm going to cry right now. Don't. Mimi's like, for the love of God, don't cry. But no, like, the way that it empowered me
Yeah.
and drove me into the direction of, you are so capable of doing this by yourself, bitch. Like, you've got the numbers, you've got the systems. Here is what you want your business to look like.
Exactly.
Here is where it is now. These systems are bridging the gap between where you are and where you want to be.
That's right.
And just by following that, I became this person who I am so proud of. Like, my God, the life I live is freaking incredible. Like, are you kidding me? I get to have a facility where people touch the barbell for the first time, whilst also having an online business where people are breaking national records.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Doesn't that just put everything back into perspective of feelings isn't always going to be a true reflection of how you're going.
Yeah.
And when you have those systems in place, it keeps you in check, keeps you accountable, that even if all things go to shit, it's like, you know what? If you come back to it, what you need to do is X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
It brings you back to where you need to be.
And if you are working for yourself, this is the way that you can zoom out.
That's right.
This is the way that you can not feel so alone in it and feel like you have to make these big decisions, because the decisions are almost made for you as a reflection, like, of the data. So yeah, I think shout out to Standout PT.
100%.
Which, I mean, I feel like it's only natural now if you go to the show notes or go to the STC Fit website, click on the little learn one, and then go through there just to see what it's about. They don't gatekeep anything anymore. All the pricing's on there. What it includes is on there. And
resources as well.
Actually, speaking of, it's the world-class service checklist.
It is.
I think is what it's called. And that's a free resource as well. So if you go on the Learn Instagram, it'll be in the bio there. Otherwise, it'll be in the show notes or on the website, but whichever's the path of least resistance for you. It's free. Pop in your email. It gets sent to you. And if you're a bit overwhelmed about what, I guess, like, the systems that we're talking about, starting with a free resource like that and implementing stuff from that
gives you an amazing starting point.
Correct. Like, I know that when I first started, I probably couldn't have been able to afford Standout PT.
Yeah.
But what you learn from the free resources increases your income enough to invest in your business.
Exactly.
And know that it's going to come back tenfold. So there you go. Hopefully I didn't butcher that little thing there, but I couldn't be more grateful for Standout. Because the life that we live is pretty cool. And now the next little segue is the life you live. What does it look like? What does your week? Because I loved listening to this from the guys. Like, I feel like I speak to them enough, blah blah blah, but you don't actually know
Get
what
the insight.
Yeah, like, what does someone's life look like outside of work? So, do your weeks generally look the same? Do your days look the same? Like, what is the life of Mimi? Isn't that like an album from Mariah Carey?
It is.
Anyway, big business owners back in.
Always be a baby.
So, what are your weeks the same? Talk me through it.
Where I can, I will try to have the framework of what my week looks like the same. So my face-to-face hours are blocked out.
Yep.
And those days, especially my Tuesdays and Thursdays, are really big days. They're split shifts, and I live just far enough from the gym where it's not worth it going home and then coming back.
Yeah.
So it's up at between 4:30 and 5:30 sometimes in the morning, and I won't be home and properly switched off till 8 p.m.
Yeah.
In between, yes, face-to-face, but I'll be mentoring AIPT students who are completing their certifications to become a coach.
Beautiful.
It'll be Monday mentoring calls, making calls and content, lead generation, to set up my weeks so I'm not playing catch up.
Yep.
Retention, some clients stay forever, some do not. And so it worked out crunched the numbers with Ben, and it worked out to be about 1.5 per week that I actually just got to put on, and I'm never really going to be like that in that weird in between.
Yeah.
For when clients leave.
Yeah.
Which pat on the back, because I feel like retention is fucking amazing.
Hell yeah, that is so impressive as well.
No, I think it's one a month.
I was gonna say
Something
one a
like that.
week.
Yeah, one a month. Sorry,
That's incredible.
And then
So you're just maintaining your service, still doing enough, still making the calls, still doing the outreach to ensure, because you have the numbers and you know how many calls you have to make to get that average on one a month. So you're doing that. Do you sit down on like a Sunday or a Monday or something like that and plan your week? Or like the AIPT mentoring, are they the same times every week? Like what is that?
There will be some variability in that.
Yep.
But I always know what my fortnight looks like, roughly.
Perfect.
It's I can't afford to be on the reactive.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yep.
And I've burnt to the ground.
Absolutely.
And so to be on the forward end of things,
Yeah.
it'll be a lot of that forward planning where possible. Things pop up, that's fine. It does mean that my days are less with friends and family for the time being.
Yeah.
Whilst things are being put in place. And I'm at that point where I'm implementing, like my Mondays are free now.
Yay.
Yeah. It was this initial, like, look, we've sat down and we agreed first year is always going to be a tough year. I'm starting from scratch, but not impossible.
Yeah.
And I've built it up to where I need it to be. Everyone's going well. I'm doing well. I can take my Mondays back.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that allows you a little bit more breathing space to set yourself up.
Yeah. The biggest thing was the marker just kept going up. There was just something next and next and next.
Yeah.
And just when I was able to have some breathing room, it's okay, I got the next thing. I'm not complaining purely because of the person it's pushed me to become as a business owner for this to be possible.
Yeah, that's so leaning on the consistency of having, leaning on the consistent weeks, like an understanding. You know, my favorite analogy when it comes to training, work and all of that is like your life is a piece of pizza. You can't change the size of the pizza. You've been given one. Let's say it's a family pizza because people will be like, oh, go bigger. But say you got your pizza. You can't change the size of it. You can't change how many slices you have because, you know, say one slice is training, one slice is business, one slice is mentoring, whatever it is. But the size of those slices can change. You can't add more pizza, and if you add more time to business, it will take away from somewhere else. And understanding those trade-offs is so important. So for you going into this push phase of you coming into this, and then once you settled into your PT and all of that, you became a mentor. So it's like chill, boom, more responsibility. And now Mohammed's like killing it.
He's doing so. Yeah.
I was like, wait, did I?
No.
I was like, wait, did I get the name right? Yes. And so then now it's like chill. Or you're mentoring AIPT students. That's settled now. It's like, cool. Are you ready to get more coaches on?
Yeah.
Great. So it's like you get to this point where you bite off more than you can chew. You chew faster. It's digestible, and then you go again, which is something that I have, as I touched on earlier. It's like, shit, maybe I do have more time to do these things, or I have inefficiencies somewhere. So
exactly, on the inefficiencies, it's like, I know this is possible. There are people out there that are doing more and doing such great things. I know this is not my limit. So I need to find where the gaps are, where I'm inefficient, whether it's systems, whether the way that I'm executing, how I'm planning my weeks, whatever it might be. I need to hone in on it. Sit down, be real, lay it all out. So I can be where I need to be for it to happen again.
Yeah, something like, if I'm being real, something that I really struggle with is the consistency week to week with variables that I only have so much influence on. So for me, it's like Parker.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people listen to this like are parents, but like, so with Parker, he does 3 nights in a row at his dad's. and then the rest of the week with me, and then we'll just alternate Saturdays, which is great. So we want him to be with us both as much as we possibly can. But I'm still with him during the day.
Yeah.
So even though he'll sleep at his dad's house at night, I do the kinder pickups, which is only like twice a week, and spend the rest of that time with him, which is the best.
He is a mini you.
He is a little firecracker and I love him so much. He's the best, and he lets me work and he lets me do so much. Like, Jason called like this last minute meeting a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, no stress, I can do it. And Parker's sitting on my lap and he's just like, chill with it. But for me, it's like my next challenge is figuring out how to make this inconsistent variable a bit more consistent. So like on Mondays, I have like face-to-face coaching. So I do a few sessions at U Strong. So I got a 6:30 a.m. class and I got a 9:30 a.m. class. Between that is check-ins for my Monday. And they're not all done in that time. Like, that's a big chunk of them. Then I finish my class and I go straight into a team meeting, which starts at like 10:30. Yeah. Sometimes it goes for 30 minutes. Sometimes it goes for the full hour. Yeah. So I block out till 11:30. Then from 11:30, I have to eat my food because I haven't eaten since before work. So then it's like 11:30 to 1 o'clock, an hour and a half to eat and do more check-ins before I leave to go pick up Parker. So I'm only getting little snippets of time to sit down and lock in for certain things. Yeah. And I know Ben said this on the last podcast, time blocking. Yeah. It works for me until it doesn't. Yeah. And I'm like, cool, this is for my check-ins. But then if I don't get all my check-ins done and then they have to dribble into another time, I just like, my brain implodes. It implodes. Yeah. So I'm currently working on managing that. Yeah. And managing like, how can I be more efficient? Like, for me, one thing is like, I would always watch my lifters training videos before I did the check-in and then do the check-in. I saved a lot of time by watching it for the first time in the check-in. You know, I wanted it to be ready and I wanted to, and I think that that's one that a lot of people can relate to because I know a lot of people do that too. But I saved so much time per day by just going into it and watching it live. And like, I know my lifters and I know my ability to troubleshoot training. Just a small thing as an online coach that saved me probably over an hour throughout the week. Yeah. Realistically, over an hour. In the evening, time blocking from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. because evenings work best for me. Yeah. To make sure that all client messages are replied to. Any technique checks that were like relatively urgent, whether it's a comp prep client or someone on a new program or whatever, make sure that's all done. And like time block those in the evening, irrespective of what I'm doing. Yeah. Then the rest of the week is like kind of wavy. Like Tuesdays, I have a good like lock-in day that it's full of like coaching and meetings, check-ins, and I do occasionally have clients come through for that. Then the rest of the week is like Wednesday mornings, final coaching session of the week for me. Then it is lock in and do content stuff for You Strong and thing. There's mentoring Jess and there's all of that. So every day looks mildly different. Yeah. But I know that on the days that I don't have Parker, it's like, depending on the day, it's between a 3:50 and 4:30 a.m. wake up to get to the gym in time because I don't live close to the gym anymore. Yeah. And then from there, rather than breaking up individual tasks into hours, it's like, this is my check-in day. Tuesday, this is my work on my business day. Yeah. Wednesday is making sure I cross my T's and dot my I's from the Monday and the Tuesday and make sure that's done, and then content creation. Fridays are also a check-in day and also like, I guess like continuing to follow up leads, make extra calls and on top of that. But then in the evenings, it's blocking out time. So it's like, cool, I'm on my phone for these 2 hours. And in these 2 hours, I am calling all the leads. So I do a block in the morning of calls
Yeah.
and a block in the evening of calls.
Beautiful.
You strong, I do get a good rate of success for midday calls as well, because there are a lot of mums that inquire, but it's just like knowing your audience. So I've recently added in the midday calls. So it's like a block of calls in the morning, some depending on the day, calls in the afternoon, a chunk of calls in the evening. I'm already on my phone, getting client replies in, getting all of that done. As much as I would love to be like, I only do my work at my computer, that is not something. It used to make me feel inadequate, because I was like, oh, I can't just like close my laptop and whatever. It's like, no, realistically, I might be chasing after a toddler or I might be doing something, but I can still get this work done
Definitely.
in this time. So yeah, for me, it's not necessarily time blocking,
Yeah.
but it's knowing that on this day I need to do this, on this day I need to do this, and then I've got my daily non-negotiables, which mostly revolve around lead generation and client
Yeah.
care.
Yes.
I think you can kind of put that into my week. Yeah, drops off towards the end of the week because that's when I have Parker more. And it's not that I can't work with him, it's that tasks take 10 times as long when I am with him. So it's allowing for that.
Knowing that you have these patterns of lifestyle, how you work best, and leaning into what works best for you and your strengths.
Yeah.
I think that's what's been able to have you stay accountable, make sure everything's ticked off to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
To keep pushing us forward, even if it is just that little bit of making sure, like, yeah, we have all the baseline numbers hit. That's what the trackers are so valuable in, knowing what your baseline is.
Yeah.
Anything more than that is a bonus and extra, but you don't go week to week without hitting those. Yeah.
Bare minimums. Yeah, absolutely. I fell into the trap earlier this year of when Ben and Jay started their sprint
Yeah.
for business. I would look at Ben as a parent, and I know that this will probably be relatable because Jess DeYoung and I have had this conversation as well. Look at Ben and see what he gets done, and the comparison game was out of this world.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing more, but rather than falling victim to that, I had to do a time audit. And I had to look at my week, my days, and then the time that I have that I can realistically control. So my time without Parker. And I had to be like, okay, like what can I actually squeeze? How long does a check-in take?
Yeah.
How long does a check-in take? How long does it take to write a program? On average, how many programs am I writing a week? Look at all of that, break that down, and I'm like, okay, add in my driving time. On my driving time, I added in calls because I can call leads while I'm driving. So it was like looking at those inefficiencies, and rather than looking at Ben and being like, I was going to swear very badly then, but like, I'm a shit person or I'm a shit trainer, and comparing to him, it was like, okay, cool. First and foremost, I am mum.
Yeah.
What times are my switch off times? What times are I absolutely cannot, aside from replying to messages, I cannot be at a computer at these times. What times are I don't have Parker. These are the same every single week. What can I squeeze into there? And then from there, where is everything else?
You commit to those times too.
Correct.
Fully. That way you have more leeway and flexibility so that when you want you time, it's fully for you. It's not that anxiety in the back of your head, like, fuck, I still need to do this. It's like, no, this is a proper switch off time. Guilt-free.
And some of the most successful coaches that I know, and like recently I've been talking to like a few, and I have so much respect for online coaches that have complete autonomy over their schedule, yet choose to follow a schedule every week.
Yeah.
So I think that, planning these things in advance, doing a time audit, having all of your tasks, understanding, exactly how long each task should take, and planning your week around that so you have a plan that's going to work for you.
Yeah.
with less resistance
Definitely.
and systemizing that as well. Everyone talks about, I need more systems, I need more systems, I need more systems. We'll start with the things that you can control, like your schedule.
Yeah.
Now that you are going into this next push phase with bringing on other trainers and whatnot, knowing that things are about to get maybe a little bit more chaotic after a bit of a lull period of just breathing and not just feeling like you're treading water, what are you going to do to ensure that you do switch off when you need to switch off, or ensure that, you know, we talk about burnout and is burnout real? How do you maintain work at such a high level? And what are you going to put in place to ensure that you can show up for yourself and the trainers that you mentor now?
Yeah. Understanding that work, it's such a privilege, hey, doing what we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Insane. But then
My biggest resistance every week is an Instagram post. You fucking kidding me, bro? Like, I don't have to ask anyone permission to go to the toilet. There are people in offices that have to ask permission to eat and go to the toilet. No thanks. Anyway, as you
couldn't go back to it.
No.
Could not. Anyway,
It's a privilege.
it is a privilege. And so understanding that stressful periods don't last forever, and knowing that I have everything within my capabilities and am so blessed with an amazing team to lean onto your experiences too, for the bigger outlook on, okay, if it is a high period of workload again, what is it that I need in terms of, I am doing this thing where my brain just shits on itself.
Awesome.
It is shitting on itself right now.
I'll jump in
Full
then.
transparency.
Yeah. I mean, that's so fine. So for me, like, looking at these like sprints and whatnot, I like to compare it to like a deficit. So you jump into it and you're like, I know that the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is going to be hard. Or I know that for the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, I need to call X amount of people more. I need to spend an extra X amount of hours on my business, not in my business, because I've learned more about how to run a business and I'm drowning in being reactive in every decision that I'm making. So if you set yourself a certain period of time, make it a non-negotiable. So in a deficit, it's like, okay, I know that I have to be meal prepping these meals because I'm going to be fucking snacky. So I need to make sure that that is all set out. I'm allowing 2 hours a week to meal prep, 3 hours, including my grocery shopping, to meal prep, put that into my calendar, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with like whether it's a work sprint or changing your business or implementing content creation because you're sick of posting on the go and you want to have a plan because you have a certain outcome you want to achieve. It's understanding that it's X amount of time that I'm going to head down bum up. Add those hours into your week where you see fit. You've done your time audit. You've done whatever it is. And know that for that period of time, you can embrace and lean into the discomfort.
Definitely.
Have your non-negotiables for your time out. Like every single person knows, in the mornings, Jason does a big dog walk. So you know that when the sun's rising, Jason's starting his day by walking Mav. You know that based off, you know, what you see, whether it's on social media or you listen to podcasts, Ben starts his day with a work sprint because he spends the early morning hanging with his son. And then when he switches off for the day because he goes home and it's just time with LJ until he goes to bed. And then it's watch TV and go to sleep. Like myself, waking up before Parker, there are 2 days a week that I sleep in with him, because it's my favorite thing in the world when he wakes me up and he's like, good morning, it's a nice day, and kisses me on the forehead. But, you know, it's the consistency with my alarm in the morning and knowing that half of my Wednesday and most of my Thursday are dedicated times to Parker.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm drowning on a Monday and a Tuesday, but it's okay because I know that I have certain tasks to do by
That's
certain
right.
times. If I stay up a little bit later to do that, it's okay on those days because I don't have Parker and that's the way that I plan it. But I know that I have my downtime on my Wednesdays and Thursdays with him and we pick it back up again on Friday. So like you have that consistency.
Yeah.
And you know that, you know, you might be borrowing time from your spare time for a little bit, but if it's planned and it's not reactive, and you have set times and set dates, biting off more than you can chew isn't as painful when it's with a plan.
No, that's right. The amount of time you set it puts it into perspective of what is actually achievable and how long you can actually stay focused for. Everyone's going to
100%.
be a little bit different. It's also understanding that maybe you allocating 5 hours for content, only 2 hours of that is actual real content making.
Yep.
And so that frees up so much more room for whether it's allocation to other areas or
Yeah.
an hour to yourself to sit your ass down, fucking breathe and eat.
Literally. I think, so I've said like time audit a fair few times today. For people that don't actually know what a time audit is you get your tasks, your non-negotiable, and just, I mean, tasks that are repeatable every week or month or whatever it is. You write them all down. Every single task that you do. I have to put driving in there.
Yeah.
I put, travel in there. I put training in there. I put check-ins in there. I put client replies in there. I put
Anything repeatable.
literally everything. Time it takes to fill out spreadsheets. Writing captions, like literally everything.
Yeah.
And then how long should that take? Realistic about it.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, you put that in there. The number is so confronting because it's overwhelming, but it's never as much as you think it is. It's never as much as you think it is. So doing that and acknowledging how much time of the week you have to spend doing something is, I feel like that's like the best place to start for any of this, to be completely honest with you.
That's right.
Amazing. Now, I'm not going to lie. I need some food. My brain is coming to a bit of a kaput at the end here. But I think overall, to summarize absolutely everything that we spoke about today, it's that leaning on your systems to create a better service that is your clients know what to expect from you. Every single client knows what to expect from you because you know what to expect from yourself.
That's right.
I feel like it gets said every single week, but it's so important. Numbers don't lie. Track your data just like you track your food, your training, your body composition, all of those things. The numbers that show up in those spreadsheets are not an insult to you and what you're doing. Take the emotion out of it and look at it as a plan. It is pointing directly at what you need to work on.
It's a reference point.
Correct. And it's from there, you get to continue to track to see if there is an improvement based on what you do change in your business. And if you don't change what you're doing when you're not happy, you're not going to end up in the same place. You're just going to resent what you're doing. So lean on that stuff and make the changes that you need to. Sprints don't last forever. I think that's everything. Stop laughing at me. I'm so done.
Squeezing. Just
I'm like, what was everything that we spoke about in this? And then we just go all the way back to the top. It's like we spoke about NBA at the start, so that's fine too. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I was like super nervy to jump on the potties without the boys, but decided to hijack it regardless. So thank you for listening. Don't forget, go to the Learn bio or the show notes. So you click see more, you get the schedule for like what we spoke about on the podcast, and then right at the bottom of that, easy links so you don't even have to like look for them. World-class service checklist. Start there, tick all of those, go from there. And I think that's all the resources we have at the moment. And obviously there's Standout PT, which We can't sing its praises enough because we're sitting in these seats because of Standout. So thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and message us with what you thought of the episode.
Come at us.
Thank you.